during COVID, I had all this free time, right? And so I was, when life is going on super busy, you're sort of often like just taking care of stuff. You've put stuff in place, you're working on things, you put stuff out there, you've got projects you're working, all that, but you don't have a lot of creative time. You don't have a lot of time to just stand back and dream and think about stuff. Well, during COVID, there was no business going on, and all of a sudden this like just wealth of creativity was like flowing out of me, and so I was I was writing like almost like songs, things that I never do, right? And I did a lot of podcasts, posts from my shed. So they were like shed talks, and
Awesome.
and it was during a time where Ironman was doing. So Ironman had like a virtual Kona that year, and so each day leading into Kona, they would do a like a 30-minute thing, like this is what would have been happening, and we'd all be talking about it, whatever. And so I thought, okay, they're like way too serious about this. And so I came up with this character, Tommy Buzzcutt. and I had like a hat and sunglasses and like a muscle shirt and all of these like pod seed lays that I got every year in Kona. And so I would just rip on everything that they said, in their podcast that
That's
day.
perfect.
And it just stuck, and I kept doing it for a while, and then eventually, things sort of went back to normal, and I stopped doing that because people are like, "Oh, dude, you're supposed to be like spiritual, and you're not supposed to be funny, and you're supposed to be like telling us all this wisdom about life, and you're just going, hell, Tommy Buzzcutt here, like, what am I doing with that olive up my nose? I don't know. I was drinking a martini and I got a little too aggressive. And next thing I know, there's like two Roquefort olives up there, and I had to go get them removed by a specialist. I don't know what kind of a specialist you called out, an olive removal dude. Like he did it for free though. Oh yeah.
Mark, you have to bring back Tommy Buzzcutt at some point.
What was the inspiration for Tommy Buzzcutt? Just like a strung out age grouper, like a Zaccoli / like a Harry Carey mix?
No, I just take like the little seed of some idea sometimes. Like life is a prop, and if you're in the right mood, like I can't tell a joke to save my life. Like I think I know one joke, and I can't even remember what it is right now, but I just like to play off of stuff that's going on. And I mean, I know that sometimes I probably go over the edge, but it's all in fun. I never try to be funny at somebody else's expense, because if you think about,
is that your creative energy, Mark, too, just coming out from, I mean, you used to train 30 plus hours a week for years. So do you think that's just your just next outlet was kind of that creativity you're describing?
Yeah, I've always had a creative side, but nothing that has ever like publicly come out. You know what I mean? Like some of it's come out, I would say, through some of the stuff that I write, thoughtful writing or whatever. And then some of the like now we're doing some stuff on Substack where I'm putting up articles about things that, it's not how to tighten your spokes kind of stuff. It's more like maybe around topics or people that we know in the sport, but trying to give a different outlook on it. Like, I think it's really important to acknowledge people in our sport who've really done incredible things. Like I'm so far beyond being competitive with anybody, and so it's really refreshing for me to like put stuff on Substack where I'm trying to honor people and what they've done and who they are and what maybe even what they're continuing to do or what they're having to overcome now as they move beyond their careers. Like we just put something up the other day on Chrissy Wellington, and I've put stuff up about my thoughts on Dave Scott and just how much respect I had for him as a person. And so it's not adversarial at all. It's like completely the opposite of that. And I think that's important to do, to really acknowledge people for what they've done, because, I existed at kind of at that top end of the sport. Nothing that as a child I could have ever imagined that I would do. Like I just gave I was asked to give the commencement speech at graduation at University of California, San Diego this past June. And that was a huge honor. I mean, they've had some people, right? Like last year they had Al Gore, they've had the Dalai Lama, they've had Madeleine Albright. Yeah. I mean, they've had some heavy hitters. And
that's a good list. That's same list as the Dalai Lama. Triathlon's made it. Good job, Mark.
Mark Allen. It took him forever to decide. But anyway,
that list goes Mark Allen, Dalai Lama,
dream rotation.
So that was a huge honor. And so one of the things I was reflecting on is, I graduated from there in 1982, so 45 years ago. And, if you had said to me, as I was sitting in those chairs, looking up at the person on stage, write your most ideal, far-reaching dream of your life. Where do you want it to go? What do you want to do with your life? In no way could I have come anywhere close to coming up with anything as amazing as my life has turned out. And, I think that could probably be said for a lot of people. Like, as you're developing as a person, your character, your purpose, your place in life, your trajectory, one thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. And there's those points, at least for me, where there were a few turning points where something caught me, something attracted me, and I said, I have to go do that. I have to do that. I have to pursue that. At the time, it made absolutely no logical reason why, and there was no ulterior motive like, oh, this is going to change my life forever. It's more like there was a calling, and one of those callings was when I saw the Ironman on television in 1980. I saw the Ironman, the Julie Moss crawl, the famous race.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I have to go there and try that. And it was purely something that I was going to go. I'd been out of college for 2 years. I didn't have a career yet. I was actually panicking because it's like, okay, I have this degree and I have no friggin' idea what I'm going to do with it. It was in biology. And I had looked at everything, going to medical school, getting a degree in nutrition, master's in nutrition. Nothing was working. And so Ironman was like the biggest distraction in the world. I saw this in February 1982. I was going to go to Kona in October, do the race once, and then get serious about life. Perfect stall tactic. Train for an Ironman. You don't have time.
A couple years later.
What you're all going to do with your life, But obviously it became one of the most significant pivot points in my life. And I've had a number of those where something that made no sense at the time, but I knew I had to do it. And those have been the most impactful moments, turning points, pivoting points in my life. And so you only get a few of those throughout your life. Mm-hmm. And, as you get older, I think you'll be able to look back and go, okay, here was one, and here was another one, and here was another one. And so anyway, I couldn't have written that dream script in 1980 as
That's awesome.
22-year-old graduating.
I love that as an origin story, Mark.
I'm so fired up right now.
You have no idea, Mark, how relatable that is to so many young pros right now. Most of the young pros I talk to have that. They come out of college and they're like, I need to throw myself into something. And very few of them obviously end up with the story of Mark Allen. But, that's the dream for a lot of them, definitely.
It's interesting too. I mean, one of the reasons why we started this is because we were sick and tired of the same, media outlets talking about the front of the race, and we lived it. I just retired from pro racing, and trust me, like I was just a hobby pro, and Evan's been in it, and we know these guys, like they're our friends, the people who are in mid pack fighting for 18th, 20th. And some of these guys break through and they become, on the podium of regional 70.3s going to worlds. And we were sick of nobody recognizing their work or, not that it's their fault. There's
some guys on this list we're even going to talk about today. Some guys have made this list.
Yeah, exactly. So we were like, let's start talking about these guys no one else is talking about. And, it's been received pretty well from what we've noticed. And the athletes are really appreciative of it.
And that's awesome, Mark, that the original, in my opinion, it's not just my opinion, many people's opinion, the greatest of all time to do it was that similar story of out of college and then into the sport. Not this not that, I mean, I support the youth programs for triathlon, but I feel like so few of professional triathletes even really go through a youth program before they get to it. They come from running or they come from swimming, and then they find the sport at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, I just put a post up on Substack, and it's called "The Quiet Champions of Triathlon," and it's actually addressing that exact point. Like, yeah, the people that are on the podium, they're getting all this recognition, all these accolades, but what about the person who is always getting fourth place or fifth place or sixth or 12th? They're getting up just as early as those who are getting the top three. They're putting in just as many miles. They're just as dedicated. They are, hold on, let me close this. They're going through just as much pain in their training, but they're not getting that outward reward of a top three finish. So what's their motivation? What's driving them? You know, what's their purpose? What's their worth? What's their fulfillment coming from? And it's an important question, I think, for everybody to answer, because, you know, whether you're talking about age group or pro, there's only three people that are going to be on that podium, and there's only one person who's going to win the race.
Mm-hmm.
And so
that's a very small percentage of the field, always very small.
Yeah. And so are you wasting your time if you're back there in 12th and you've dedicated everything, you've given up maybe the opportunity to have a good job, but you want to pursue this thing as a pro? And, you know, I think I think that's
we need to repost that, Bali. We'll find that repost. I think people need to read that from Mark. That's amazing. Because Mark, I agree with you. When we do this power rankings, those are the guys we're talking about, is those guys that, especially stats wise, even at the world's level, are not going to be at the front of the race. We talk about the front of the race, but the most important part is realizing that, I mean, it's in team sports. If you think of the NBA, the NFL, these teams have guys who might never see the field, but they still are professional athletes. They still have dedicated their life to that. And I think that this sport needs to find that appreciation of guys because not only are those only three people, it's usually going to be the same 3 to 5 people too. Mm-hmm. So do we just completely ignore the other 45 that are racing week in and week out? It's not like 44th ever has a shot of actually making that podium. But I do agree. I think it's worthwhile in the end.
Yeah. And to your point about creativity, when I stopped training full time, that's when our engagement and social media growth and
always creativity's gone through the roof since then.
I was noticing the same thing. I'm like, wow, where were all these ideas and this will to do it? And
it's amazing what training for triathlon does to your mental energy. It toasts it. Yeah. Mark, did you notice that how old were you when you did your last professional race?
I was 38. The last time I did Ironman, I was 37, you know, went out with a win on that 6th and final Ironman that I won. And then the following year, I did a series of races it's kind of like the super tri races or the arena races, where it was a series of short races, invite only, very limited fields, like 30 guys or something. And it would be like, we do 3 times through a race that took about 10 minutes. So it'd be like swim, bike, run, and then you'd have a 15-minute race, and it'd be run, bike, swim, and then they'd mix up the order again.
Blake is so happy right now that you're telling Blake's face, Mark, he loves super tri. So you just made Blake is right after this podcast, Mark. Blake is going to go look this up now and try to find.
What's the name of it?
Was that a Bud Light series sponsor?
No, I think it was called International Grand Prix or something like that.
Yeah, I was going to say Grand Prix.
Yeah, they had races.
Oh, Blake, look this up.
Australia, the U.S., Germany, Honolulu. One went Honolulu. The final race of the series was actually an Olympic distance race. It was in Phuket, Thailand, and
cool. That's wild.
Bring it back.
The short ones were drafting. The final one that I did, it was the last race of that series, full Olympic distance race. And I ended up in second place. I was closing in on the leader, Simon Lessing, and he won by 12 seconds. If I'd had a little bit more room, I probably would have run him.
Mark, at 38 years old, that's awesome. I don't think we got a single 38-year-old super tri right now. You still have the engine.
Retiring from Ironman at 37, 38, it's kind of young these days. Looking at the Startlist.
I know,
to go back to
Patrick,
short course after that's amazing.
Yeah, like Patrick Longa last year, winning Kona at 38 and whatever.
38.
Yeah. We could honestly, Mark, I have so many questions about racing back in the day, and we might have to have you back on just to do a casual
Mark,
podcast,
if you would ever want to have
many.
Yeah. Just questions from that era. We love, Bolly was just bringing that up, but we got to talk about this era and this year too. So Bolly, you got us?
You know what? I was going to skip the intro, but let's bring it back in.
Bring the intro. We got an intro for the greatest of all.
And I love putting the guests on the spot. Just, Mark, have you watched the show yet? Did you get familiar at all? If not, no worries.
A little bit. Like I've seen a lot of the clips like on Instagram and stuff. And,
okay.
Yeah.
If you want to chime in, just talk over us. Just say what you got, splurt it out. But all right, welcome back to another episode of the On Your Left Startlist Power Rankings, the official pre-race show where we break down the upcoming start list in 30 minutes or less. And today we're definitely going to go over that 30 minutes,
way
folks.
Over it. Yeah.
We are headed to Nice, France for the Ironman World Championships. It's the men this time. My name is Connor Bollinger, and I'm joined by my co-host, pro triathlete Evan Price, and the legend himself, intern Blake Pfeiffer. Joining us for this very special episode is none other than 6-time Ironman World Championship winner and the GOAT of full distance Ironman racing. Please welcome the great and powerful Mark the Grip Allen.
Yeah, where's that Ironman dude? I'm looking for him.
Tommy Buzzcutt.
I heard he was kind of like a badass kind of thing, like. Yeah, well, I don't know. I think I would challenge him to a hot wings eating contest because he would lose. I got a throat that's like a steel trap and a stomach that's like a Godzilla gorilla thing. I could throw down like 152,000 hot wings with like habanero sauce.
We have to find Tommy Buzzcutt clips. We have to go back and find these. These are awesome.
If you Google Tommy Buzzcutt, you'll find something on Certainly Tube it. YouTube, whatever the hell that place is called. Anyway.
That's literally how I found Mark on Instagram, was Tommy Buzzcutt's clips. I was like, wait, isn't this Mark Allen?
It's incredible.
All right, gentlemen, we have the Ironman World Championships in Nice, France this year, and I got to tell you, it's even better than 2023. The start list, in my opinion, looking at it.
Agreed.
And,
yep.
And yeah, I just feel like it's from what we saw in 2023 versus 2024, the level of racing, the tech, everything has just exponentially. So, what do we got, guys? Who are we thinking?
Throw it to Mark.
Okay, so let's throw to Mark. So how that first tier works, Mark, for us is not podium guys. Who is here to win? Not exactly battling for third. If you had to pick 3 names off this list going into this year, who are your 3 guys that are undoubtedly going for the win?
Well, I would say obviously Sam Laidlaw is going for the win. He's from Nice. He won there the last time. He in 2023, obviously he had a really strong bike. Nobody was expecting him to have a crappy bike like the year before.
431 on that bike course. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he had set the Kona bike course record the year before, first time out in Kona, and everybody's like, really? Seriously? Okay. And, and he knows Nice, he knows the course, he knows how to descend that thing. He knows how to pace it. But nobody expected him to actually run the way he did off of that type of a bike. And he's definitely going for the win. He's I would say less than consistent. Like he can have like a mind-blowing race and then he can completely blow up. So, I would say even though he's going for the win, he's not the most secure bet. But if you ignore his name, forget it. But I think the guy that really is going for the top of the podium that has perhaps the best chance is Christian Blumenfeld.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yep, I agree.
He's completely transformed his body. I was in Paris for the Olympics, and saw him there, and you know, I'll be honest, he looked like he was a pig stuffed in a sack. Like he didn't look good, you know, and nothing against him, but just that's
almost bizarre. A bizarre body type for this sport.
Thinking that, right? But you look at him this year, and he's like a completely different person. He's leaner.
I was going to make that point, Mark, because I think he knows the amount of climbing in Nice, and I think he leaned himself down because I've seen pictures of him in the last couple weeks, and I mean, even other people were pointing it out to me too, and saying they're like, Christian, which is dangerous for everybody else. If that man, I mean, he's already an insane engine at any weight. It doesn't even matter. But if he's leaned down and climbing well, I don't think he gets dropped on the bike by any group he's with. I don't think he gets dropped. I think there's one more name that makes that top tier, though, and that's Patrick.
What? Yeah, I was going to say, there's a couple names that can
get at. No. I think there's only 3 in that top tier. Yes, I put Patrick well above Ditlev right now.
That's insane.
You can get angry at me on that.
What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on that?
Patrick trains in the mountains, just like Ditlev does.
You know, Patrick was second in 2023 in Nice. You know, Magnus died a little bit on the run, and then Patrick was able to get up there into second place. I think Patrick, judging from last year, is racing better than he's raced in a lot of years. Like he had a few years after his previous Kona win where he didn't do anything spectacular at all. You know, I mean, I think it was, what was it, 6 years between his last win and this win? You know, that's a big time span. And
it's a big gap. Yeah.
The big gap. And he set a record, you know, broke the course record. He beat 15 other guys last year in Kona who went under 8 hours. I mean, can you imagine the guy that, you know, number 16, you break 8 hours and you're 16th? Yeah, that's crazy.
And he is fully focused on Nice this year, clearly, because he has not raced that much, which means
that's
he
what I was
is locked in on Nice.
This whole top tier, other than trying to
locked in on Nice.
Christian is literally just going for points. That's the only time he's racing this year is to get his points for the Pro Series. But out of these 3 guys, we're going to put Patrick up here. There's another guy in here. Yeah. This is the least they've raced in the past 5 years since COVID.
Leaving Ditlev out of there, I know sounds mean. The only reason I'm leaving Ditlev off is I don't think he can win even on his best day against these 3 guys. I think Ditlev is going to be 3rd or 4th in this field. One of these 3 could have a bad day. Like Laidlow could walk on the marathon.
I don't know how you leave.
I think you have to just give Magnus the nod, dude. Stop being
I don't know how you leave
here, dude.
Yeah, okay, I don't know how
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with it.
Well, Mark's deciding he's the tiebreaker here.
Yeah, Mark, do you put Ditlev in that top tier?
I think you need 4 guys in that top 3 position. You got to put Magnus up there.
You got to put him up there.
I'm fine with that.
You know,
but my take is that
look at what he did back-to-back years in Roth. You know, that's
he's still a youngin' too.
I still think, though, compared to Christian, Patrick, and Laidlow, all 3 of them on their best day will beat Ditlev's best day. That's, I think, all 3 of them. But Ditlev is the 4th in this entire field. Easy. He's alone in 4th.
Yeah. Those are those 4 right there. That's your.
Blake hates this take. Blake hates this.
Yeah, I don't see how you keep Ditlev off. I really don't.
No.
At all.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
All right, second tier. I got to think of a name for this top tier. It's not coming to me yet.
Leon. Not the third name. I want Leon.
In a league of their own.
In a league of their own?
Yep, league of their own. Because I think those 4 are that's the cream of the crop.
I think you can maybe throw Leon in the top tier, but I know you guys are going to poo-poo that hard.
Yeah, you can't. After the Placid stuff.
I know he's leading. He's leading the Pro Series though. Right now, Leon is.
That doesn't mean much though.
I know
was leading for like half the year.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So second tier. That's
Rudy.
Yeah, we gotta throw our saving grace in here.
Right, Mark, what are your thoughts on Rudy's? Yeah, Rudy 100%. On this course especially, I think is very dangerous. That man can descend on a TT bike like nobody's business.
Like a demon.
It's almost insane we're not putting Rudy in the top tier just based on his last 2 podiums at the last 2 World Championships. I mean,
he's not running stupendously well right now though. That's the problem. Is I don't think his marathon is going to put him in the mix for the win. It'll put him in the mix for the top 5 because he'll swim and bike at the front of this field. but I'm not sure. Hopefully, I would love for him to prove me wrong and go run a 236. I want him to go run a 236.
I think this next tier should be kind of like the X Factor. Those that that we're not putting them on that top tier, but if they're in the top 3, we're not going to be surprised, and we're going to be able to look back after the race and go, "Well, yeah, he was second because we'll come up with all our smart ass reasons why we why we knew that he wasn't going to be in the top 3, but now he is, and why he was able to do it." So
this is us covering our bases, because if you're second tier, we're like, "Oh, you were." We basically picked you for the podium. You were basically there.
Yeah, Leon, thank you. Yeah, Leon deserves to be up there.
Leon needs to be there.
I would put him in third tier, but I know I'm going to get vetoed on that.
That's the only reason I don't want to put him there is because I actually think the reason he's not racing quite as well as maybe we were expecting is because I think this whole year has been a build to Nice. So I don't think you were going to see him ripping it in Placid or anything, because I think his whole year was just, I'm going to do really good in Nice.
Yeah, I think people don't necessarily understand how important this last Nice World Championship is to a lot of these European guys, especially Frenchmen.
Yeah. So to him, like, Placid didn't matter. He might have trained straight through Placid for all we know.
I almost think this is a bigger deal than the Olympics for some of these guys. Like, it's who knows when it'll take a global pandemic for the World Championships to come back. Like, I mean, you never really know. So this is your last shot.
Now, speaking of other Euros, just because I love this guy, and I just read a recent article on him. He's like my favorite.
I know where you're going with this.
Christian Hogenhog. Is that what you thought I was going?
Yes, I was going to say that.
Yeah. Hogenhog's second tier. Hoagie's second tier.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I like it. Yeah,
I agree with that. I saw him in Texas, and that
was a good day
on the bike.
He can ride, and he's been doing his own like aero testing since he was an age grouper. So this guy's like understanding of how well he needs to ride the TT bike is next level, and he can descend very well too. It's not like he's just a Texas course type guy. Like he can ride, and he's a pretty underrated marathoner off the bike too. Like he's not bad off the bike if he has guys with him and he's not just having to solo an entire Ironman bike.
He's been never in our tier 1 this entire year, and both races. What did he come in second? What race did he win this year? Didn't he win? No, he lost to Blue.
He barely lost Frankfurt though, because remember, didn't he have some bizarre penalty or something stupid that happened?
I thought that was Dietlev. Yeah, you're right. He did. Get a penalty.
Hogenhog had some ridiculous penalty, and there was a chance he might have been able to hold off Christian. So if he's that close to beating Christian, and I think this year of all the races we can look at of ones like what's going to dictate Nice results, I think Frankfurt actually was like the field and just the type of race where you could look at Frankfurt and be like, okay, this is going to be a close
kind of baby world champs.
Yeah, it was.
There are two
especially
names,
for the Euros.
There are 2 names that I'm staring at that could go in the second tier. I'm going to hold off on the second. The first name, Gustav Iden.
I don't want to disagree with that, actually. I agree with Mark.
Yeah, right. I'd put Gustav in there, and I'd put Matthew Marquardt in there.
Yes, thank you, Mark. I was going to say Marquardt too. I'll put Marquardt in there.
No way. That's crazy.
Mark, I'm with you. I'm not going to underestimate that guy again. And in one of our earlier ones, I said he wasn't even going to finish the race. So I think, okay, the better take is, Mark, do you think he cramps again in T1? Do you think he goes through it again?
I don't think so.
He's going to figure it out finally.
I think he'll figure it out, and also it's the end of the summer. Things are going to be cooling down instead of heating up.
Mm-hmm.
And I've looked at the weather, and it doesn't look extraordinarily warm. I don't know what's causing the cramping, and I don't know where.
I don't think anybody knows what's causing the cramping, though. His own doctor doesn't know what's causing the cramping. So
my guess is it's just like major overall stress. I mean, the dude going to medical school and all that.
Yes,
and I think he graduated, didn't he? Didn't he graduate?
So he's in the middle of his rotations right now, Mark, which means that unfortunately for Marquardt, the story of him. Now I'm a physical therapist, so my rotations and stuff I did was nowhere near the stress of somebody going into oncology like he's doing. But he's going to go into residency next, so there is a chance Marquardt disappears in a couple years. Which my hope is that this is his race that proves like, hey, maybe maybe he can still do this, or maybe he just takes residency as a break and then comes back to professional racing. But we'll see how he manages residency with it.
There's one. Well, Mark's vote counts as 2. Yeah. Evan agrees. That's 3 versus 2. Me and Blake wouldn't have done that.
Who's your one more? Who instead?
Well, there's one more name, and I'm going to let.
Can
Blake
I do this one?
Yeah, I'm going to let Blake take
Iba España, Antonio Benito Lopez.
What?
Give it to me. Give it to me. Second tier. I want him back.
No, that's not who I thought you were going to.
No.
Did you think I was going to say?
Incorrect.
I think you were going to say your man crush here.
He's not on.
Dude, he's coming off an injury, man. I love the kid.
Oh, he is coming
Martin
off
Van Riel. I know we're forgetting Martin Van Riel here.
He's faking, but I don't think he's faking. He likes getting hurt a lot. I don't know.
Martin's he's not going to contend. You don't think he's that?
I think he'll be up there, but I don't know where he'll be. I got balls, but none of them are crystal, dude. I don't know where he's going to finish.
Okay, there's 2 names here that I do want us to consider, and one of them is not Benito.
Is tier 2? Can we close off tier 2?
Oh, do we close off tier 2? Yeah, because these names, Blake, that we're shoving in, like they're that outsider could get into the podium, but it would take so many things to go right, and so many I want to say Jamie Riddle, but Jamie Riddle's got to prove he can run a good marathon
Benito
before
Lopez
you put
raced
him.
with Blue all of Texas.
He did.
Yeah, but he's been in T100. He's been traveling everywhere. Yeah. He's chewed and screwed right now, in my opinion.
He's from Spain. He's got to drive 5 hours.
Right, dude. But it's so much racing.
You
Blake,
can't go into Nice tired because that course is just so demanding. And you think, oh, it's a flat marathon, it's easy. That's bullshit. It's super hard because if you're fresh and you come off the bike and you can run really, really fast because it is flat. But if you're tired, that flatness just uses those same already tired muscles over and over and over, and you just get slower and slower. So
leave it to the
Mark's 100% right. Yep.
Yeah.
Honestly, Blake, the fact he threw Benito Lopez in there when I
out of here, Blake.
That was insane.
Get out of here.
Insane.
Mark didn't even want to respond to that.
Take a lap.
Now, okay, Blake,
I forgot Martin was still on there.
I know. So the 2 names that, in my opinion, right into tier 3 need to be there is Jamie Riddle and Martin Van Riel. There's a reason, because they're going to factor into the front of this race all the way into T2. They're both going to be there. It's just what's going to happen on the marathon is the big question.
Endurance going to be
you got to put Martin in there, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
There's another name who is just as young.
Tier 3 is fine.
Who's just as young looking. I know Martin's not as young. What about Nick Thompson?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, Nick Thompson's 3rd tier. 100% he's in the 3rd tier. Nick Thompson is he's the great Aussie hope. He's the next big
Kiwi.
Thing.
Yeah,
pretty sure
my bad, Kiwi. Excuse me, Kiwi. I'm thinking Oceania. Just Oceania. I know.
Aussie.
I'm insulting my boy here.
No, he's Aussie.
You're right.
He's Aussie. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
he is Aussie. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, I got that right.
Thinking about Casper for this level.
Casper.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, that's the thing about these rankings is it's not really based on performance. It's only like the top 10 are, and then the rest are all kind of peppered in there, I think, based on how they qualified. The
biggest thing with Casper and why we really can't forget about, and it's actually almost insulting to leave Casper out of the 2nd tier, and the reason is does everybody remember where he placed in Frankfurt? He was 3rd in Frankfurt.
I was about to say 3rd.
So putting him 3rd tier, I agree.
I think everybody on this list has one cracker result like that.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying that was such a good field
this year.
That was the toughest field all year, and he was 3rd. But
I think you gotta call this level like the Ghosts, because they're the ones nobody's thinking about. They're out of the picture. They're gone. They're dead. But they could still.
Mark's Ghosts. Yeah, Mark's Ghosts here.
Mark's Ghosts. I was gonna get the Patrick Swayze from the movie Ghost, the pottery scene.
Just put the pottery scene. That's perfect. That's a very relevant reference.
As in tier 3, though.
What?
Second at Texas.
Like
only 8 minutes behind Blue. I don't know. I know,
but that's early season. That was like it's the first race of the year.
It's the only other
April, and then
that's the only other full he has, Blake, and he's been on T100 and racing nonstop T100, and
hasn't been doing good.
Yeah, 4th in Vancouver, right? Or no, wait. Yes, 4th in Vancouver, so that was great. But then his other T100 results, Blake, 7th, 16th, 13th, 9th. That's all over the board. So what, are you going to put him on almost the same level as Martin? Like that, you can't put him on the same level as Martin. He's a tier below Martin.
Well, it's not like we're saying they're going to finish side and side. It's the tier's a spectrum. But
you know what we're going to do?
I digress.
Yeah.
I digress.
For you, we'll kick off tier 3 with Benito.
Tier 4.
There you go. I agree.
All right, fine.
He almost didn't even make the tier 1 program.
Tier 4, actually, Bo. It's tier 4. It's tier 4 for Benito.
Sorry.
Yeah,
you meant the tier.
Tier 4 to me.
I think you got to stick Cam Wurf in there on the ghost level.
Yes.
Yeah. Ghost.
In the ghost level.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, this is a Cam Wurf course, right? This is a Cam Wurf course. I think it doesn't even matter where he comes out of the water, even though apparently he's going to be swimming a little better. This bike course.
Mark and Evan are going to buddy up on this one, then we don't have.
I think Cam Wurf's just been collecting paychecks this year, but
no, he's all in on Nice. He wants to do well in Nice.
All in. I don't think he's all in on anything.
Yeah, I don't think he's all in on it.
They just hope they have a good result. They just keep showing up, and they're like, maybe it's today.
He's all in on just having a good time, man. How can you not cheer for Cam Wurf? The guy just wants to go to every start line.
He's just getting
this charity case.
But this course is a Cam Wurf special. Like, this is also, speak of a guy who was at the front of Texas for a while. Here's your other guy, Cam Wurf.
Oh, but Texas was so long ago.
I know. But hey, you can't back Benito and then roll your eyes at Cam Wurf. That makes no sense.
Yes, I very well can.
Marco's exactly.
Cam's never won against some of these guys, but he's been consistent against all of them always.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I don't.
Yeah.
This is the last Nice. This is his last chance to race an Ironman World Championship that has a bike course that's set up for cyclists.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
fair enough.
There's one name I got to throw in here that I think deserves to be in a ghost category: Jonas Schomburg.
Yes, yeah. You can't leave Jonas Schomburg out. Actually, it's almost insulting that he's not above this. But the only reason he's not is because he's either a boomer. He's a big boomer bust. Named Big Boomer Bust.
Would be a good one for the next one.
I would have loved to see his day go differently. I would have loved to see Jonas's day go differently. And what was it? What was the race that he had his whole front end come off? Was that Frankfurt?
Yeah, that was Frankfurt, and then he went to go race Roth. You know,
I would have loved to see how his day would have gone.
I actually like that name for the next category, Boomer Bust, because I think we got to throw Sam Long in there.
Oh, dude, come on.
Okay, Blake.
Sam was like almost at the bottom of the pile in his last T100. He's going to be
Mark,
so
you're making Blake so
behind.
happy right now.
Blake is going to agree with you.
Yeah,
really? You think that? You think he's not going to be
a
factor, Mark?
Can we set my timer and let me go off for a sec?
Hold on. I want to get Mark's point on this. So, Mark, you don't think Sam's going to factor in here?
No, you see people in their careers, they have trajectories, and he was on that upward trajectory, COVID, coming out of COVID, and then he kind of leveled off, and now he's just been going the other direction. He's been getting worse in his results than he has been getting better. And you don't come into Nice with a crappy T100 and go, okay, I'm just going to crush Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I could say otherwise because I like him, and he's a person.
Yeah, I think we all like Sam, but you're right. That's the results speak louder than us wanting to see. Everybody wants to see Sam do good, but his style of racing is a dying breed at the front of these world championship races now.
It's almost like a Daniel Beckegaard trajectory as well, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. The American
going back.
Blake, what? Come on. I don't know about that, Blake. Blake, give us the same long. Give us the 60 seconds on Sam.
Since you guys were so kind to grant me a little bit of time here, I prepared some stats on Sam Long here. Okay. Sam Long. At Frejus, Greg Barnaby put 60 seconds into him in a 5-minute descent, right? Took Sam 6 minutes to do the same descent. On these segments, on his course recons, he's losing 18 seconds on a 2-minute segment. He's losing 30 seconds on this 2-minute segment. On an hour this was a Gustav and a Martin Van Riel segment that they had the faster times on.
Yep.
Okay. On an 11-mile main segment on the Nice descent, Sam Long does a 23-minute, 16-second. Rudy does it in 21 minutes. Cat Matthews rides a minute into Sam Long on that same 23-minute segment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So on average, we're looking at Sam Long losing about 1 minute for every 10 minutes of descending.
That's a lot. And if he's losing that amount of time to Rudy, that means he's losing it to the entire top 10 on the bike.
I almost want to input like the double jeopardy.
Forget he's 80 kilos too.
Yeah, which means he's not putting any time into him climbing.
Matt Hansen in this next level here.
I agree. Yeah. So, but now, Mark, this is a good question. Do you think Matt Hansen beats Sam Long in Nice? Just straight up as a question.
100%.
I agree. Yep.
100%.
I think Matt Hansen runs a 2:32. I'm gonna say 2:32 in Nice.
Okay, there's another guy in here who's historically performed well on the biggest stage. He's a little guy. He's from South Africa. Brad Weiss.
Yeah.
Is he in this?
It's tough to bet against Brad Weiss on the world because when you're right, Bali, when the lights are the brightest is when he shows up. So looking at other results from the year, the only results that matter for Brad Weiss are world championship results.
Exactly.
And he does well. He does always well. And he's so quiet about it. Nobody would pick him to be a top 3 tier guy, but then he just goes and has his day.
He's got a family. He's fighting to feed mouths.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's racing for something.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, there's a couple names on here.
How about a couple? Yeah, so here's the thing with some of these like downward trajectory guys right now that are tough. Harry Palmer got almost bottom tier because I know he's also harboring a back injury right now.
He's been T100 dancing too. He's been
struggling in T100. Otherwise, if Harry was showing some of his early season form right now, God, I'd want to talk about putting him almost like 3rd, 4th tier, but I just don't think right now.
I think a real sleeper worlds guy that just aims for worlds, this Matthias I'm going to butcher this. Leinsigo Pedersen. Yeah,
Pedersen. Yeah.
I don't know anything about him.
Is he Danish?
17th in 2023 and then 12th in Kona last year.
Do you think Kona last year's a great result?
You think he's a tier 4 guy? I'm looking for next to Weiss.
Yeah, I think
next to Weiss. Next to Weiss is good.
Yeah, I don't think we need to go linear here. I'm going to go with that bottom rung. I'm going to put Joe Skipper on there. I don't think he's going to finish.
Jeez.
Yeah, I like that. That's 100. Yeah. He has no result that says he should be finishing well in this field.
No, Mark, I love it. It's just it's great.
It's legit.
Again, I love Joe, but I'm saying he's not going to finish.
So is that a Sam Long or a Sam Long down here? I think you got to put 6. Sam above Harry.
Sam's
you think
6?
6.
Sam has no problem finishing.
Yeah, Sam will finish.
It's just how fast it'll be. Yeah.
Blake, you're getting overruled here. That's Sam's going 5th
on the record.
Do you know what we still haven't put in? We still have not put Benito. Benito's still sitting down.
No, he's right here.
No, wait. Oh, my bad. I'm thinking over. Jonas Hoffman. My bad. Jonas Hoffman, who I know Bali has tried to place high before. You love your Germans, Bali. You do love the Germans. But Jonas Hoffman's another.
He could be 5.
Yeah, but he's not having a wonderful he was 5th in Frankfurt, which was his year.
Okay, this is what we're gonna have to do here. Jonas there, Lindars down here because he's been Mr. DNF this year.
And that doesn't.
Yeah, which is so
much. You get a DNF. For 2.
Which is tough because he's great. I mean,
I know
you want to see him, but if you're a big British fan, you want to see this guy put it together, but he just hasn't yet.
Yeah.
Hopefully he does this round.
I think you got to stick Daniel up on that 3rd from the bottom rung there.
Right next to Weiss. So this is going to be a boom. This is the boom or bust, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's boom or bust.
Baca goes perfect for that tier. It's boom or bust.
Could pull off a pretty darn good race, and they could be in if things go their way. Like you said, or I said, or somebody said, trajectories in their careers.
For the record, Evan just butchered that last name. It's Beckegaard. It's not Backago. Another name just absolutely butchered by Evan to a broadcast.
It's so dumb.
Another last name, just offense here. I'm just racking them up this season.
All right, now there is 2 names here that I see. The Gooch, Henrik Gooch. Yeah. Blake, what do you got on his last result? What did he do at what was it?
He was 3rd in Cairns.
Where is he?
3rd in Cairns. 6th in Placid.
Yeah, he's just been so consistent this year with like top results
but
in
not
Stepniak.
in like but he's
got
getting
a
the results in
240
like Cairns
marathon.
and Placid.
240 marathon. Is he the boomer? Is that a boomer bust?
He goes boomer
boomer
bust in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yep.
For his debut world champs. Yeah.
I know he's European.
This is the other thing is like his debut
Finnish,
worlds.
Though. They're not climbers, you know.
What do you mean? They're burly men. They eat a lot of fish. They're like,
they probably descend super well, Blake. I'm sure he does.
There's no hills in Finland.
He's off social media. That's good for like 3 minutes. He doesn't have social media.
Right.
So
no Instagram is at least 3-minute boost.
It is. It is.
I wrote an article about how social media is destroying people's ability to recover. Because, you're sitting on your couch and you're taking it easy and you think, oh, yeah, I'm recovering. But your brain is like going on dopamine depletion because you're scrolling through all of that garbage. You're listening to like this on your left thing and you're like, my brain's going crazy. You got to turn.
They're listening to the power rankings, get mad, and then just not even recovering. Yeah,
like
fuming.
This is actually really good for recovery, because it's so mindless that you don't have to even think.
That's exactly what Matt Lieto said to us.
This is like reading one of them classics, like
Gone with the Wind. Reading the coloring book.
Yeah.
Man, all right. There's two names. We got Stepniak and Strotman.
Give Stepniak the nod, 5th tier.
No. Stepniak needs to go boom or bust. I know. I think that's a little high from what people are saying. 10th in Texas, 11th in Frankfurt. He can swim 47 to 48 minutes. He'll be in near that front group. His run is a 250, but his bike is pretty strong. So I think he'll be like in that 10 to 20 coming off of the bike. And then if he can hold it together on the marathon, could hold like a top 15 on his absolute best
I think he's boom or bust.
What are we looking at?
He's consistent.
Okay, so I was going to debate him over Strotman, but this is Strotman's like 3rd Ironman or 2nd Ironman, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he hasn't raced a lot this year in general.
No, but he's also rocking with a 3rd in Roth with a 241.
But 12th at Jeslo, man. No, I know nobody cares about
Jeslo.
Jeslo was so like
full explosion.
Well, the notes in here say if you lose 5 minutes at Roth, that's 10 minutes in Nice.
He's losing time on the bike, Blake. This is not the race you want to lose time on the bike.
No, I know.
Yeah. He's a great swim run guy. I mean, like he'll factor in on the swim run, but I don't think this is the course that you can be losing time on the bike.
I think you're going to be able to pick a lot of people off on this run. Like Mark kind of said, like if you're struggling on this run, you're going to hemorrhage.
You're going to really struggle. Yeah.
Versus if you're on, you're probably going to be clawing some people back.
All right. Does anybody want to make a Mike Phillips argument for the sake of Kiwis?
I was about to say, I think we throw him at the bottom tier. I mean, he lost to Skipper down in what was it this year, Cairns or?
Yeah, I would say Hill.
No. He beat Skipper in New Zealand, didn't he? But barely. By 3 minutes. But if that's our bar,
he won Ironman New Zealand.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Phillips did. Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's a winner.
He ran a 241.
7th in Cairns though.
Let's go
240.
5th tier. Can't put him bottom tier. You can't put Mike Phillips.
And I think you have to put Ben Hill up there too.
Give me some Ben Hill.
Ben Hill beat.
If you sort of tease through these guys, you realize even those at the bottom, they're friggin' darn good athletes, and I think that's I think that's what we're trying to show here is like, they're at the bottom of this prediction pile here, but
that's how deep this field is.
They're still world class.
Such a deep field for 30 guys.
That's what we always tell people, Mark, if they ever get upset at us. We're like, no. If you're on our power ranking show, you're good.
You're really good. Yeah. Just because it's the bottom tier of the World Championship does not, because for some of these guys, a 25th would be an amazing day still with 24 guys absolutely flying. I mean, there's a lot of guys who are winners in this field.
I'm not going to lie. I had no idea who Ben Hill was before today. So,
I think
I was
you
tracking
put him with
Ben Hill.
Phillips.
The
he
problem
was
with
13th in Nice 2 years ago, so he knows how to race this course, and he's beaten Phillips head to head at Cairns.
I mean, historical data goes a long way in the power rankings.
Not a great swimmer though. That's going to be an issue for him.
Yeah, but
he's with Sam Long, so he's in great company.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if he's Sam Long on the bike and run.
Our last guy, Matthias here, he might be the one guy that we've most underestimated. I mean, he was third in Lanzarote, and that course is brutal.
Talk about I brought him up earlier. Course. I think he should have been boom or bust.
Yeah.
I think we could squeeze him into boom or bust.
I can squeeze him in there.
He also is going to swim in that 47s group, so he's going to swim well. The problem is in 2023 on this course, 4:49 on the bike and 2:57 marathon. He had a tougher bike run day.
Yeah, but
that's 2 years ago. That's 2 years ago, though. Yeah, he could be a completely different athlete now. So
he could have been taking mortal hydration the whole time. You know,
he could have. He could have taken a lot of bathroom breaks, in and out of the porta potty
with half a calorie. Exactly. So I think that's got to be like full explosion or something.
Oh man, he's painting the porta potty.
He's taking in the amount of carbs that you guys were taking, Mark Allen, back when you guys were taking out orange slices. Back you guys were just no carbs, running 240 and change.
Yeah.
All right. So this last tier, I'm realizing it's the last thing we have to name, and they are all GB athletes. What's that?
Explosion.
Full explosion.
Full explosion. Yeah.
I was thinking of something like GP related, but that's hysterical.
No, it's way
I like
better.
That.
Full explosion.
Those are all GB guys. This is we're gonna get some heat for this because
our back on our GB.
I know we're turning our back on our. We're sorry, GB. We're in the second tier. We will put nothing but GB at the front.
All right, guys. So that does it. League of Their Own. X gonna give it to you, aka the X Factors. Mark's Ghost, Boom or Bust, Darn Good Athletes, and the Full Explosion. Before we leave, I want to get not podiums. I want to get winner predictions from everybody on the show. So let's kick it to the guests. Mark, who do you got for the win?
Blake.
Martin. I can't not say him.
Did he pay you?
No. He's sleeping in his bed. Evan.
Garbage.
I'm going to Blue too. You just can't. You can't bet against
3
the guy.
Blues and 1 Martin. That's it.
Dude, it hurts more to lose, man. It just hurts more.
It hurts more to lose. Yep, it hurts more to lose.
Sam is going to be so pissed off, you guys.
I know he is. Sam Laidlaw is going to be not happy with this.
Yeah, he's not going to like that at all.
You got to give us something more this season, though. You can't go win Mickey Mouse Roth, in my opinion.
You can't go willy-nilly.
And then you go to, I guess, what do you do, Wales? Or no, it was
Leeds.
Yeah. Tough course, though. Damn, it's hard to argue against that.
He could be second or third, but Blue's going to win.
Yeah.
Blue's going to win.
For sure. Light blue. A light blue.
A light blue is dangerous.
I have to say I've done a lot of predictions over the last 45 years or whatever, 40 years of some odd years in the sport. And the thing I love most about predictions is when I'm completely wrong, because I'm totally surprised by somebody's performance, and I love that. And I think that's why you don't just mail in your Garmin, your Strava stuff, because race day is so different than training, and racing a world championship is so different than racing in any other race. And so, what people bring into those extra important events really changes the dynamic. And so those surprises are what just makes an endurance sport like triathlon so exciting, because, it is such a long day, and there are so many things that have to go right, and there's so many things that can go wrong, and you just can't predict who's gonna tip the scale that little bit extra in their direction and come up with that incredible performance that nobody will ever forget. And that's what's so super cool about it.
What I'm excited about is this is the first year we're seeing low volume racing from the front field, and that really just means that they're showing up to prioritize this race. And I'm actually also looking forward to the race never being in France again, so I can watch the whole thing and I don't have to pull an all-nighter. So
yeah, that's another good point. Yeah,
will you be out there, Mark?
Yeah, I'm supposed to fly out on Monday. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, Blake will be there, so if he sees you,
Blake will buy you your lunch at some point, Mark. Blake,
awesome.
you gotta get that done. Lunch on Blake.
I eat a lot, so bring some money.
That's not in the budget. That's not in the budget, Evan.
Pump your brakes, Evan.
Well,
hey, Mark, thanks for your time. I'm going to
thank you, Mark.
I'm going to stop the recording. Just stay on for a minute while it uploads everything.
Ad read.
Ad read. Sorry. So this episode today has been brought to you by Adro Labs. They just launched their first protein bar, latest sports nutrition science, 20 grams of plant-based protein, 2 times the leucine to help you recover like a pro. Use code ONYERLEFT25 for 25% off. And Mark, I think you like this sponsor. So we have a collections company that sponsors us. They help pros get unpaid prize money and any sponsors that don't hold up their end of the contract. So if you're in the need to collect some sponsorship money or prize money, hit up Grindstone Collection Strategies. Zero nonsense, zero fees, just results. Hit up grindstonecollections.com, fill out the contact form, and don't forget to tell them that On Your Left sent you, because nothing says I'm serious about my money like sending in Grindstone.
Well, hell, like Tommy Buzzcutt's looking for an extra job, and he's like convincing in that kind of way. If you know what I mean, I got some friends that are like big.
Tommy Buzzcutt uses Grindstone Collections.
Tommy Buzzcutt's the enforcer of Grindstone Collections. Oh, man. All right. Thanks, Mark. Just going to stop it here.